What was my favorite thing about filming news every week? What? I'm about to walk out. I hate this.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your favorite show for all things gaming and rarely tech related, Gentoo. I'm your host, John Taylor.
And I'm Austin Claypool. We've finally made it to the last episode of the season. So, let's hear what the crew has to say about this season.
My show on Gentoo was on the leaderboard, with me, John Taylor.
My show was called Gamecubed, and it was all about reliving my favorite childhood GameCube games.
My show on Gentoo was Apex and Chill.
My show on Gentoo was The Rundown featuring me, Garrett Bevans.
I'm Lauren Liberty, and I'm the producer of Gentoo, so I'm the one who is in charge of editing the show, getting it out to you, and in charge of Project Delta.
Funniest thing about making my show was losing every week. Man, I was the best at that, let me tell you. If there was someone who was #1 at losing, John Taylor.
My favorite part about filming my show was finding a new game every week that I would enjoy and hopefully you guys would enjoy as well. And my favorite game that I covered this semester was Skate 3.
Probably my favorite part about making my show each week was being able to put a new spin and a new effect or something like that into each episode and making it different than the week before.
My favorite part about making Apex and Chill was one-clipping people.
It's a ton of fun being on Gentoo. The crew is awesome to hang out with, from Lauren, Brandon, Austin, and John. They all make it good and we all work together really well.
Being on Gentoo is a fantastic experience because not only do you get practice being in front of the camera, but also behind it and editing, pre-production, post-production, everything in between. So it just really helps me build my skills.
Being on Gentoo, bro, being on Gentoo is fun. You get a lot of people that like the same things as you do, and so you can bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. That's what I really like.
Being the producer on Gentoo is a blast. Just hanging out with the guys, playing video games, talking about video games, making dumb jokes, improv bits, all of that just makes it a really enjoyable time hanging out with them and producing the show.
Did I learn anything new this season? Probably to, turn my packs in on time.
I learned not to freaking base yourself off on one game all season.
Did I learn anything new this season? Yes, time management.
Yeah, I learned a lot this season. Only being a second year, there's a lot to learn editing-wise, there's a lot to learn leading a crew, being a producer for the first time. So yeah, there was a lot to learn and a lot to take into next semester.
My favorite thing about being here filming is when I can be out here with the hosts, giving them special ideas, giving them some some of that, what is that? Pizzazz, the Reggiano. The Reggiano.
My favorite thing about filming the news every week is writing a script and then just watching John and Austin bring it to life, doing improv bits, just having a blast as we all joke around and laugh about it.
I'll tell you, this isn't every week, but one week Austin lost this competition we had on YouTube where Big Debbie won. Big Debbie was me, and he had to wear a penguin suit one week, and if he had to wear that every week, that would be hilarious.
Probably my favorite part about filming news each week is standing up here with John. I mean, that guy's hilarious. He can improv anything and everything, especially when he tells the stories about his childhood as being a gangster on the streets. I mean, crazy stuff.
My favorite thing about filming news every week is just finding new positions to do here in the studio, from audio and floor director. I just like to help out the studio and the crew as much as I can.
My favorite memory from filming Project Delta is every single time we were filming Project Delta, Brandon would be like, hey, hot dog water, all because he'd want me to lose in hot dog. You hearing this, Brandon? Look at me, Brandon. Hot dog water. Awful. Doo-doo water.
You haven't even tried it.
Man, you like it or something?
I don't know.
Man, okay. That's my favorite memory. Yeah, sure, hot dog water.
Probably my favorite memory from filming Project Delta would have to be the first week when I got to pie Brandon in the face.
My favorite memory of Project Delta is probably when I smashed John in Super Smash Bros. Smashed him. I think I three-stocked him. It was messy for him.
Favorite memory from filming Project Delta? Yes, most recently when Brandon left us to die in Apex Legends. He was supposed to be an expert, and Lauren and I had never played the game before, and he just left us for dead. And we had to fend for ourselves. We didn't do very well, surprisingly. I don't know what happened there, Brandon, but it is what it is.
My favorite memory from filming Project Delta was definitely the Sims 4 episode, just making Sims that looked like everyone in the crew, making the studio, and then murdering them all when they didn't show up to film Project Delta.
Probably my favorite memory from
Favorite part of the show, getting it done.
Oh, that's you right now, jumping to conclusions. All right.
We get it?
We get it?
Get it, we got it!
Ugh, man, it feels good to reflect back, Austin.
You're right, John. It does. Now let's get to the packs for this week.
Are you crying?
No. Let's go to the packs. Go to the packs.
Welcome back to On the Leaderboard. This is the finale of On the Leaderboard. The last episode, the final hurrah. Through this series, we've been through ups and downs together, and I have seen many victories and many, many losses. But I thought the best way to end this final series would be to look back at those many losses, those many wins, those ups and downs that I've been through together one last time. So, without further ado, let's start up with one of my crowning achievements, my reclaiming of the throne for Near Midnight Speedrun. The king is back. Getting a time of 15.36 seconds and more than half a second better than J-Mac's first place original time. That run will go down in Speedrunning Hall of Fame. Of course, up next, we can't forget about another fan favorite, Speedrunning Dead Estate. Even though it resulted in a loss for me, it was still a very close run, and all in all, a very enjoyable game to play.
I had my fight going on with the final boss. I mean, it was action-packed, it was insane, it was really good. I died. Thank you for watching.
Man, I do miss playing Cordelia. On a more somber note, we can't forget about most recently when I had the loss of a close one. NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti. It was a good graphics card. Losing that graphics card was rough, but I know that wouldn't be the end of this series. Not yet. Getting DC'd from that competition was a shame, an embarrassment on my record of speedrunning. But luckily, I was able to reclaim that all the way with my most recent speedrun of Zoom Speedrunners from Hell, where I was so close to the win, but I at least finished the run strong and ended this series the way I wanted it to, the way Raz Firestone should have.
Go through these teleporters, up, down, left, right, boom, portal.
Next one against my 209. So close, yet so far. My reign, and what better way to end highlights than to just speed run through some of my favorite moments through these episodes, with of course some cool music in the background. So, enjoy. Thank you for watching this series, and I will see you later.
The future was so bright. The old neighborhood was so alive. And every kid on the whole damn street was gonna make it big and not repeat. Now the neighborhood's cracked and torn. The kids are grown up, but their lives are worn. How can one little street swallow so many lives? Chances grown, nothing's free. Longing for used to.
Kirsten, what are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here? Making TikToks? And it's not about what I do, it's about what we do here. So we start with storyboarding the content we want to create for our clients. It could be anyone from small businesses, nonprofits, and organizations both on campus and in the Maryville community. We write, we film, we edit, we create, and then we wait. So if you're someone who thinks you need us, we are KNWT, Creative Services.
Well, folks, unfortunately, it is that time of year yet again. It's time to talk about what we learned this season, and it's time to say goodbye to some of our most dedicated crew members. We know that this episode of Nerd Central will be hard for all of us, but tune in because it's the finale.
The end is nigh.
Come, continue reflecting on the past with us before time runs out.
Of course, you could watch this episode again, or go back to an older one you missed, or even a previous season to get.
No! This episode of Gentoo is already halfway through. Let's soak it in.
I mean, we're supposed to promote our old episodes, and
here it is, the next pack.
Hello everyone and welcome to the season finale of The Rundown. I'm your host Garrett and today we're looking at the best and the worst that I had this past season on The Rundown. Maybe I had some bad gameplay, maybe I just wasn't feeling it that week, or maybe I was feeling it that week and I made some of my better works of this season. Nonetheless, here we are with the best and worst of The Rundown. Up first we have the bad. Let's just get it out of the way so we can end positively with the first game that I played for this season, Forza Horizon 5. While the game is a ton of fun, as I'm sure you heard me say 100 times in that episode, it was not my best work by a long shot. My title was trying to do something new, and while it looked kind of cool, it just wouldn't work out for the rest of the season. But a special thanks is needed for Austin over on Gamecubed. He sat down with me and helped me make the new title for the show, so Austin, I greatly appreciate it. Second is my second episode, My Friend Pedro. I was wanting to try something a little less known, so I picked My Friend Pedro. While I enjoyed the game, I had some difficulty putting everything together. The music was great, however, my other things weren't as good. I just wasn't really feeling it that week with the game anyway. Third and final is the Weird West. Much like My Friend Pedro, I tried something new and it somewhat backfired. I also had a big issue while editing. I sadly lost around an hour and a half of the work of the project, which was kind of upsetting. On top of that, I wasn't really feeling it. While I am a huge fan of the Western genre and throwing in some cool, weird horror things is my cup of tea, it was just weird this week and it wasn't my favorite. But enough about the bad stuff. We want to end positive here on the show, so that's what we're going to do. Up next were my 3 favorite packs from this season of The Rundown, coming right at you. Up first, we go back to the galaxy far, far away with LEGO Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga. As I mentioned, the LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga was my childhood. My brother and I played it a ton as a kid, and it was great going back and feeling the nostalgia as an adult. Playing as my favorite Star Wars characters entirely made out of plastic is always fun as well. On top of that, it was just fantastic and a new game as well. I also had to embarrass myself and throw in a little picture of me and my brother and some weird Halloween getup. From the galaxy far, far away with easy gameplay to a game in a mysterious land with not so easy gameplay, Elden Ring. Elden Ring was a brand new game that I was skeptical about playing at first. It is my first From Software game, which is known for its difficulty, and the game is difficult nonetheless. But I still enjoyed playing it. It was a ton of fun trying to figure things out as I was a new player. I am still horrible at the game, but I'm still enjoying it. Finally, we have Skate 3, my favorite game that I played this year. From being tased by a pedestrian to nailing those big tricks, I had a ton of fun playing this game, as I always do. And that is why I played it. I thought I edited it really well together, and I thought I covered all my bases playing it as well. That does it for this season here of The Rundown. And if you guys miss me, don't worry. I will be back next season with more great games to play for you guys. But if you really, really miss me and the content we have here on KNWT, go back and check out our old episodes of Gentoo. I'm your host, Garrett Bevans, signing off, and have a good summer.
Hello everybody, my name is Brandon and welcome back to Apex and Chill, where I play Apex Legends,
chill, give you tips and tricks about the game, and updates on patches. In this week's episode, which is unfortunately the last of the season, I will be highlighting my 3 favorite episodes of the season. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in every week to watch Gentoo and all the different packs we have to offer. It means a lot to me and I appreciate you all. This isn't the end. In the number 3 spot, we have episode 4. Episode 4 is where I review the Control LTM, the 9v9 capture the flag type game mode. It's one of my favorite from this season because it's been a long time since Apex Legends has put a limited time mode into the game. Being an avid fan of the game, playing Control gave me a nostalgic feeling since I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, which has a similar game mode in Capture the Flag or Demolition. Being able to play a faster paced version and having a choice of different characters made it that much more fun to play and to make the episode. Number 2 is episode 7. In this episode, I listed the top 3 legends to use in the game, which were Bloodhound, Wraith, and Revenant. This episode lands at number 2 because I think it's important for players to know what characters would be best regardless of the type of player you are. It was a useful episode not for just the people watching, but for me also, as I was playing every legend and learning new things about them I didn't know before. Combining the abilities of the different characters on your team is also why this episode lands at number 2. And coming in at number 1 is episode 2, where I listed the top 5 things to do in ranked Apex. This was my favorite episode of the season because it was my personal advice to you guys watching. I've been playing ranked Apex for almost 2 years, and I can say proudly that the 5 things I listed were the backbone of my gameplay. It's just crazy to see the difference of performance when you change a couple things you normally do as you get more experience in the game. Overall, these 3 episodes were my favorite this season, and I hope they were yours too. If you haven't watched these episodes yet, you can check out all the Apex and Chill episodes on Gentoo by going to the KNWT YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe for other amazing content as well. And before I end this episode, comment down below what your favorite Apex and Chill episode was. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this time as much as I did. My name is Brandon, and this was Apex and Chill. Deuces!
Unlike other organizations on and around campus, here, the students do it all.
KNWT is a student-run and student-produced television station.
To support this content and Northwest Media students,
You can go to our YouTube channel at KNWT Channel 8.
And watch the latest shows or even enjoy blasts from the past.
With abortion being such a hot political topic,
broadcasting their show, In the Trenches, live to the KXCV KRNW station.
SAC and officers of the University Police Department were present to help coordinate the event.
The new Nottoway Humane Society is an animal shelter that houses cats and dogs here in Rainbow.
Media professor Adam Bocart presented his lecture, Risk versus Chance, at the last lecture series.
Hello, and welcome back to Gamecubed, unfortunately for the last time. This, of course, is the show where I dive deep into my favorite childhood Gamecube games. As always, I'm your host, Austin Claypool, and this week, we'll be viewing all the highlights of this season of Gamecubed. Over the course of this semester, we've had some good times and some rough patches. But nevertheless, I felt it was only right to put together what I felt was the best 3 moments from Gamecubed. The very first episode of Gamecubed was published on February 7th of this year, and I will fully admit, this could certainly use some work. And so some work I put into it. And after 11 weeks of evolving the show, I can finally be proud of the work I've done. Alright, enough of the sappy stuff, let's just get on with the rest of the episode. Here are what I think are the best moments from this season of Gamecubed. Spider-Man 2, Movement. Right out of the gate, this game lets you experience what it's like to be Spider-Man. You feel powerful as you leap building to building, or swing through the skyscrapers without a care in the world. Okay, but for real though, the movement in this game is unmatched. Are you going to be swinging into buildings? Yes. Are you going to be confused about what buttons to hold when? Yes. But most importantly, are you going to have one heck of a time swinging through the city? Absolutely. Sonic Heroes. Worlds. Alright, so if there's one thing that Sonic games are known for, it's the worlds. Each level comes with its own theme, music, and adventure to explore. There are 14 worlds to uncover in Sonic Heroes, and here are a few of my favorites. Seaside Hill is the first level of the game, and it is such a classic. Ocean Palace is next, and would you just listen to that tune? I mean, just listen. Then there's Bingo Highway. Fuck Bingo Highway. Mario Kart Double Dash. Steering. I like to keep things positive on this show, but more importantly, I like to keep things honest. And honestly, the steering in this game is or at the very minimum, it did not age well. The movement feels wonky and at times too slidey, especially when compared to the near perfection that is Mario Kart 8 for the Switch. But that's like comparing a Honda Civic to a Ferrari. It's just not fair to do. Anywho, that's all the time I've got for this episode. Unfortunately, like I said, this is the last episode of Gamecubed. So, leave a comment down below. What was your favorite episode? Thanks for watching.
Finally, we've made it. The final episode of Gen 2. And so with that, we have the final installment of this season's Project Delta. We've gone through a lot of different stages the last 10 episodes. We've had lots of laughs and lots of stressful times over the past 10 weeks. We've even had the Adam Bocart on our show doing a pack. I hope you enjoyed this season of Project Delta. So with the little time we have left, let's just rewatch some of the best clips we have from Project Delta.
And if you're lucky enough to play this with multiple players, the interactions between animals is like something I've never seen before. There is such a sense of nostalgia from my friends and I bringing horses together and levitating 30,000 feet into the air. I haven't got to experience that since I was a kid. And just like we did as a kid, we would levitate high enough that our buildings would disappear, high enough that our heads would start to disappear. And I don't think that's something any game has gotten right until Farming Simulator 22.
Brandon's been doing this for like hours, just operating the camera. I mean, good job on you, Brandon. Like, you could quit. You do know that. Guess I'm taking initiative and mopping up the literal pee that's all over the exhaust dude. You're also helping out. Garrett, where are you going with the camera? Garrett, get your framing right.
I'm sorry, John.
So should we wait? So,
and then that means
you guys are just doing, and Garrett's not even playing this game. Hey Garrett, are you playing Dead by Daylight? Hey Garrett, 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 hey, okay, alright Garrett, Garrett, I can't attack him, alright, I'll just leave you to it. I'll just leave you to it. I'll go find Lauren now, I'm bored, Lauren's funner to mess with.
Well, this is our last scene on Gen 2 together.
Oh, it's a little bit sad, John.
Just a little sad.
Just a little bit.
Just a little sad. Prompter says we got a hug now, so.
I mean, I stay on prompter.
I guess we're gonna hug then, yeah.